Hey, $1 trillion man back with you. You know, guys, if you haven't read my book, 10 Bagger Blueprint, #1 bestseller on Amazon, then you probably are not aware of an important concept, which is probably costing you a lot of money. That's right, you are losing a lot of money right now because you are not aware of an important concept, and that is the concept of the 10 bagger window. I'm going to give it to you real quick right here for free. I'm sharing with you. This is my act of charity. It's my act of charity here. I'm just doing this because, I gotta give back to the little people, which is you. I'm gonna give you this act of charity, and that is this. Again, 10 Bagger Blueprint on Amazon, #1 bestseller. The concept of the 10 bagger window is very simple. If you look at any stock chart, I don't care, Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, IBM, whatever it is, right? They all have, if you look at a period, long enough period, they all have a period where they have a massive increase in the stock, where they increase literally 10x, and usually that's within a 6 to 12 month window, right? Now this is with the big cap companies. It's much more pronounced if you go to some more NASDAQ type companies, emerging growth companies. Why does that happen? Well, it's because these companies are going to the 10 bagger window. What is the 10 bagger window? Well, my friends, that is the inflection point. That is the moment. That is a period of time when a company is hitting major catalysts, companies going through exponential, that's right, exponential revenue growth. Either it's exponential revenue growth or there is exponential milestones. For example, if it's a biotech or a mining company, they've hit some exponential milestones where, they got the new drug discovery, they got an approval, or they hit, if it's a mining company, they hit some tremendous drill results, right? And all of a sudden the stock is repriced. And again, within a period of 6 to 9 months, the stock goes up 1,000% or more. Over and over again, this happens. The question I'm asking is this: why are you buying stocks that are not in that 10 bagger window? That's right. Why are you buying stocks that are not in that 10x to 100x window? Now look, they call me the $1 trillion man because I've helped create over $1 trillion in wealth for investors over the last 25 years, right? Now, how did I do that? Well, by introducing, mooch bums like you to stocks that have gone on to increase 1,000%, 10x, 20x, 50x, even a couple hundred baggers. I wish I had more 100 baggers, but not as many as I'd like to have. I've had 12 10 baggers to 50 baggers in the last 12 months. That's right, stocks have increased between 1,000 and 5,000%. Way too many doubles and triples to count. And it was all based on this concept of finding stocks just as they're about to enter that 10 bagger window, right? So when you get into these things at the right point, when they're going to that inflection point with multiple catalysts in place and they're priced dirt cheap, again, you got to read the book. 10 bagger blueprint. If you don't read 10 bagger blueprint, then you're a schmuck. You're an absolute schmuck. You're going to lose your money. You know why? Because you're stupid. You're total mooch bum. If you're not willing to invest $19.95 to get some information which could change your life. Now, why did I write this book? Is it to make money? No. Let me tell you something. I lost money with this book, okay? Because the time it takes is, listen, my time is worth a lot of money. This book has taken a tremendous amount of time. Now, I'm not doing this to make money with the book. I'm doing this to make you a better investor. Why do I want you to be a better investor? So that when I introduce a company to you, you understand exactly why it's valuable, why it has potential, okay? What I want to do is I want to educate you so you become a better informed investor, so I don't have to, waste time doing a bunch of videos of nonsense. And then also, the other part is this. Again, when we work with these companies as a next super stock, that 10 bagger window, my goal is to get into it for like a 6 to 9 month period, 12 months maximum, and then we're out, right? Either the company performs or it becomes a 10 bagger or it's a bust. And the problem is a lot of you morons are, you guys are holding on to these stocks too long. I'll give you an example. There's a stock called PKK, Peak Fintech. We introduced it at 70 cents and went to $14, okay? by the way, it's post-split 70 cents. So it was a 20 bagger, right? 20 bagger. And when that stock was $12, and by the way, our contract was up at that point. And I said, look, to investors, look, listen, this thing is, valuation is what I was a 400 million valuation, crazy valuation. I said, look, this thing is priced to perfection. It's got a lot of possible risks. I don't want to go into all of it here, but it's Chinese related stuff, fintech, China, etc., etc. Peak of the market, and it was priced to perfection. I said, look, you got to take your profits now. I'm not saying you should sell. I'm not saying you should buy. I'm just saying you might want to consider packing your parachute. And you know what? So many investors were saying, oh, this is life-changing. This is going to go to 1,000. I mean, the people were going bananas. They were going bananas. And you know where that stock is today? 40 cents. It went to $14. Now it's 40 cents. I can give you a couple of other examples. The point is this. You got to get out of these things at the right time. You got to get in and you got to get out at the right time. Okay, it's about timing. All about timing. And if you read the book, you'll understand the timing. That's why I wrote the book. So that you understand the timing, and then you don't, whine to me, later saying, how come you didn't tell us to sell? How come you didn't tell us to sell? Well, that's not my job. My job is not to tell you to sell. I'm not in the business of advice. I don't give investment advice. I'm in the business of stock promotion. These companies pay me to promote the stock. You understand that? So I'm not here to tell you when to sell the stock. I can't tell you that. That's not my job. But if you read my book, you read the 10-bagger blueprint, you'll know exactly the signals of when to sell. So that way you'll get out, you'll make a profit, you'll make potentially 10 times your money, then you'll get into the next deal, I tell you. That's why I wrote the book, so that you can make a lot of money, because the more money you make, the better I do. Because again, the more money that my kind of audience makes, the better, the more success I'll have in the next deal. That's the whole idea, is to parlay that over and over again. And that's why I wrote the book. Okay, it's very simple. It's not to make your $20. I couldn't wipe my ass with your $19.95. Okay, so bottom line, get the book, 10-bagger blueprint. What was I talking about? I forgot. I forgot what the premise of the video was. Was I talking about price? Oh yeah, 10-bagger window. That's what I was talking about. So the point is this: you got to get into these things when they're going into that 10-bagger window and get out, okay? Because that window is it's a 6 to 9 month window. Get in, get out, take your money and run. Read the book, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's to your 100x, my friends.